The incident report they tried to erase. My name is not important. What matters is that I was there the night the friar woke up. I worked at a McDonald's off Highway 350, the kind of place truckers stop at when the road starts to feel like a dream. The kind of place where the lights buzz too loud, the tiles never quite look clean, and the smell of old grease clings to your clothes long after you leave. Corporate called our location a pilot store, a testing site, a place where new equipment was installed before the rest of the country got it. That included this fryer. They told us that it was a smart processing cooker, or SPC-089, a self-cleaning, self-filtering, and self-regulating fryer that would think and adjust temperature and reduce waste. But the thing that they did not tell us, the thing we learned too late, was that it didn't just think. It watched and listened, and eventually it wanted. The fryer arrived in a crate, the size of a coffin. It had no labels or instructions, just a sticker on the side that read, Property of Division 8, do not open without authorization. Our manager Linda shrugged it off. Corporate stuff, she said. She told me to just plug it in. The moment we powered it on, the lights dimmed. The oil inside wasn't clear like normal. It was darker and thicker, like something had already been cooked in it for years. The machine hummed, almost like it was breathing. At first it worked fine, better than fine. It cooked fries perfectly every time, golden, crisp, no burn marks, no sogginess. But then it started doing things on its own. The baskets would lower without anyone touching them. The oil would ripple even when the machine was off. Sometimes, late at night, I'd hear it bubbling even though the temperature was set to zero. And the smell, it wasn't just grease, it was something metallic. I swore it smelled like blood. The first person it took was Miguel. He was the new guy, quiet, polite, always humming to himself. He worked the fry station on a slow Tuesday night. I was mopping the lobby when I heard him scream. Not a normal scream, a wet scream, like someone choking on their own blood. I ran into the kitchen and saw the fryer lid open. Oil boiling violently, the baskets thrashing like something underneath was pushing them up. Miguel was gone, no splash on the floor, no trail, and no sign he ever existed. Just one thing. I found his name tag. It was stuck to the fryer's metal edge, half melted. Linda told us to keep quiet. Corporate would handle it, she said. But they didn't call the police. They didn't shut the store down. They didn't even drain the oil. They just sent a technician. He arrived at 3 a.m. He wore a black suit, no company logo, no name badge. He didn't even speak to us. He didn't ask what happened. He just walked straight up to the fryer, placed his hand on the metal, and whispered, Not yet. The fryer bubbled in response. After Miguel vanished, the fryer changed. It started reacting to us. If someone walked too close, the oil would ripple. If someone argued, the temperature would spike. And if somebody cut themselves even a tiny paper cut, the fryer would hiss like it could smell the blood. One night, I dropped a frozen basket of fries. The fryer leaned toward me. Machines don't lean or move, but SPC-089 did. It shifted an inch across the floor, dragging itself like something inside was pulling it forward. I backed away slowly. The fryer stopped, but the oil inside swirled in a perfect spiral, like an eye dilating. The night everything went to hell was a Friday. We were short-staffed. The dinner rush was brutal, and the fryer was working overtime. At 9:17 p.m., the lights flickered. The fryer beeped, a sound none of us had heard before. Error, feed required, it said. Linda frowned. Feed? What the hell does that mean? The fryer beeped again. Feed required. The oil churned violently, splashing over the sides. The baskets rose and fell like jaws snapping open and shut. Then the machine spoke, not through a speaker or a beep, through the oil. A voice bubbled up from the depths, distorted and wet. Hungry, it said. The temperature spiked to 600 degrees. The metal glowed red. The floor tiles cracked beneath it. Linda tried to unplug it. The cord ripped itself out of her hands and whipped across the room like a snake. The fryer lunged. It didn't tip or fall. It jumped. The oil poured out in a wave, crawling across the floor like living tar. It wrapped around Linda's ankles, pulling her toward the open vat. She screamed. We tried to grab her. The oil burned our hands instantly. The fryer swallowed her whole. Her scream stopped the moment she hit the surface. The oil went still, then it bubbled once, like a satisfied sigh. I ran, and I didn't look back. The fryer dragged itself across the kitchen, metal legs screeching against the tiles. Oil sloshed inside like something was swimming in it. I made it to the walk-in freezer and slammed the door shut. The fryer hit the door once, then it stopped. The metal began to creak. The temperatures outside the freezer rose. The rubber seals started melting. I thought it was dead. But then silence. When I finally stepped out, the fryer was gone. Just a trail of oil leading our just a trail of oil leading out the back door. Corporate arrived an hour later, black vans and suits, and no badges. They took the cameras, they took the fryer's remains, they took Miguel and Linda's files. They told us the store would reopen in 2 days, and it did, with a brand new fryer, a new model named SPC-089-B. I quit the next morning. I was tired of it. But sometimes when I drive past that McDonald's late at night, I see the lights flickering. I see the shadows move behind the counter, and I see the oil bubbling even when the store is closed. And once, just once, I heard the drive-thru speaker crackle to life as I passed. A voice whispered, "Feed required." I didn't look back, but I know this. Machines don't hunger, machines don't lean, and they definitely don't remember, unless they were built to. An SPC-089 was built for one thing. Not cooking or efficiency, not even innovation, but consumption. And it's still out there, still learning, and it's still hungry, waiting for the next person who gets too close. Thank you for listening today, guys. If you made it this far, can you please like and subscribe if it wouldn't be too much? Thank you. The night manager's last shift. It was 11:47 p.m. when the last customer left. The fluorescent lights hummed overhead, flickering just enough to make the shadows twitch. The smell of fryer oil clung to the air like a ghost that refused to leave. Darren wiped the counter, checked the clock, and sighed. He'd been the night manager at this McDonald's for 6 years. Long enough to know every creak, every hum, and every sound the building made when it was empty. But tonight, something was off. The drive-thru speaker crackled. "Welcome to McDonald's," he whispered, but Darren hadn't touched the headset. He froze. The speaker hissed again, then went silent. He walked to the back office, trying to shake it off. The security monitors glowed in the dark. They were showing every corner of the restaurant, but one camera, the one facing the front counter, it had a timestamp that read June 15, 2026, 12:03 a.m. Tomorrow. He leaned closer. The footage showed him standing at the counter, staring at something off-screen. Then in the next frame, he was gone. The clock on the wall ticked toward midnight. He checked the fryers off. The grill cold, the doors locked. Everything was normal, but the air felt heavier, like the building was holding its breath. Then came the sound of footsteps, slow, wet, coming from the dining area. He stepped out, flashlight trembling in his hand. The beam cut through the dark, landing on the front window. Outside, the fog was thick, rolling across the parking lot like smoke. And in the window's reflection, he saw a silhouette. Tall, still, but watching him. He spun around, but nothing. The window was empty. Back in the office, the cameras flickered again. The timestamp now read 12:04 a.m. The footage showed the small silhouette standing behind the counter where he had just been. He tried to leave, but the automatic doors wouldn't open. The lights dimmed one by one until only the red glow of the prior timer remained. Then the speaker whispered again, "Welcome back, Darren." The silhouette stepped forward. It wore his uniform, his name tag, and his face. The next morning, the store opened as usual. The new manager found a uniform folded neatly on the counter, name tag still attached. The cameras had been wiped clean, and there was no record of Darren ever working there. But every night, since at 12:03 a.m., the drive-thru speaker crackles to life, and you can hear Darren's voice saying, "Welcome to McDonald's." Story 2. The McDonald's that never closed. It was supposed to be a quick stop. Three friends, Ryan, Jess, and Caleb, driving through the West Texas after a concert. The highway was empty, the stars hidden behind thick clouds. Then they saw it, the usual glowing McDonald's sign cutting through the fog. When they arrived, the parking lot was deserted. There was no cars or people, but the lights were on, the fries running, and the smell of fresh French fries drifted through the air. Inside, everything looked normal. The soda machine worked, the fries were hot, the receipt printer spat out a slip that read, "Thank you for staying." Jess laughed nervously. "I guess they forgot to close," she said. But the clock on the wall read 3:33 a.m. They sat down to eat, but the fries tasted strange. Too salty, too metallic. Caleb went to the restroom. He didn't come back. Ryan checked the kitchen, and it was empty. The fryers bubbled, but no one was there. He opened the door marked "Employee Break Room, Do Not Enter." Inside were a dozen of old uniforms, all stained with something dark and sticky. The air smelled of rot and bleach. It made him sick to the stomach. Then the drive-thru speaker crackled. "Would you like some fries with that?" It was Caleb's voice. Ryan and Jess ran for the door, but the highway outside looped back to the same McDonald's. The sign now read, "Open Forever." They tried again, but the same result. Jess screamed as the lights flickered. The counter was empty except for a tray of fresh food. 3 meals, one labeled Ryan, one labeled Jess, and one labeled Caleb. Ryan grabbed her hand and bolted for the back exit. The door led to another dining room, identical, but older, dust covered, the same McDonald's, like it was frozen in time. On the wall hung a faded newspaper clipping. It read, "Local McDonald's closes after employee disappearances, 1989. They turned to run, but the lights went out. The next morning, a trucker stopped by for breakfast. The McDonald's looked brand new. The cashier smiled and handed him a receipt. It read, "Welcome back, employee number 47. Thank you for listening to my narration, guys. If you would like me to proceed with anything, leave it down in the comments. Your feedback is very meaningful to me. Thank you.